Oh, hello, and welcome to another episode of my vlog. In this episode, I want to talk about whether or not college is necessary to make a living off of being an artist. And if you're wondering what kind of degree I have, nothing. I have no college degree. I'm a college dropout. I have a GED. That's the highest level of education that I've received. And that's my case. I'm not saying that college is not an important thing. A lot of people are really going to benefit from it, but in my case, I haven't determined that not going to college impacted my career negatively. It doesn't seem to have really mattered to anybody whether or not I have a degree. As far as people hiring me to do work, they don't ask about it. I don't have it on my website. It just doesn't come up. People look at my portfolio. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It's as simple as that. Let's talk about what's important. And these are things that are important whether you go to college or whether you learn these things at home on your own. The first is you're going to need knowledge. You're going to need to know how to do the work, whether it's making an oil painting and getting it framed or selling it on Etsy or selling it on your website, or something as technical as doing 3D animations. Now, it depends on how technical of a job that you're doing. If you're doing something that's a little more crafty and creative, like oil painting, sure, you're going to learn some things from college, but a lot of that stuff has been common knowledge for years now. You can learn a lot of that from a book or from a tutorial. If you're trying to learn how to use the latest 3D design software to create a 3D animation for a video game or for a movie or something, you're probably going to have to go to college for that because it's so technical that that information isn't going to be out there. I mean, that's just what you're going to have to do. So there's kind of two paths you can take here, and I'm not going to argue that for the technical stuff, college isn't important because it definitely is. But for the more creative stuff that anybody can do, that's really up to you. So you need knowledge, and you also need experience, practical experience. I'm not talking about, having a teacher say, okay, make me something just for me, and then I'll judge you on it and give you a grade. I'm talking about making something for somebody, meeting their expectations and receiving compensation for it. That's real world experience, and that's really important because it's a lot different than just doing assignments. So these two things kind of boil down to book smarts and street smarts. You have to have both. If you're just one or the other, you're not going to get by. So you have to have both. A lot of this knowledge that's out there is on the internet, where it's in books, and when you go to college, they're going to administer that knowledge to you. They're going to say, read this book that this guy wrote, or here's a website or some kind of publication or some video to give you that knowledge. Now, a lot of that stuff you can get yourself. You can go to the library, you can check out books, you can go on the internet, and you can probably get PDFs of a lot of that stuff. So what's important is that rather than having a professor say, okay, read this book, this book, this book, just, go and pick out a bunch of books on art and learn whatever you don't know. I mean, that sounds really simple, but it's basically all you need to do is just fill in the gaps. If you come across a client who says, hey, can you make me a poster, and you've never made a poster before, go and look up some poster tutorials. You don't need to go to college to learn how to make a poster. It's really pretty simple. And a lot of this being good or being bad at what you do is pretty subjective. I mean, there's some pretty bad designs out there, I think, made by people who get paid a lot of money. So that's something to consider too. So rather than go through a whole college course at home, you can get practical experience by creating work for friends and family. You could do low-cost work for clients. That's how I got started. Or you could just build portfolio items for yourself. Just make yourself posters and make yourself a website and just do paintings, just for the fun of it, really. After a while, you'll have this whole collection of stuff that you can present to someone. That happens a lot. The siren, the cat, the airplanes, the construction that's like right behind my house that starts at 8 a.m. and doesn't end until like 6 p.m. And it's even going on the weekends now. There's a lot of interruptions. Sorry about that. Anyways, so you can really just build your portfolio up yourself and show it to somebody, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But that's really the best way to get work, is to have examples of your work. So the next factor is determination. Now, it takes a lot of determination to go to school for 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, however long you're going to go. That's a lot of going to school. And you might have to work on top of that too, to go to school and then come home, take a short break, and then go to work. I mean, it's really, really hard to do that. You're going to need determination either way, and you can put that same amount of determination into being a freelance artist. Skip the school, say, you know what, I'm not going to go to school for 2 years, but I'm going to spend 2 years spending 5 days a week going to the library and learning how to design websites or how to create posters or how to oil paint. And in addition to determination, you need desire. You have to want to do it. You have to want to be an artist. You have to want to be successful. You have to want to learn this information and to get better at what you want to do. It really isn't something that you should buy or earn or force upon yourself. Now, do you need talent? No. You don't need talent. You don't need any talent to be successful. There are plenty of successful artists out there who have no talent at all. And that's because talent is subjective. The phone, too, there's another one. I should have set that to silent. You don't need talent. Talent is just a subjective word. It's used to label artists and their perceived value. If you value yourself and your work, then others are going to value you as well. Now let's talk a little bit about the value of art historically. Historically, artists didn't really just get to go out and make paintings about whatever nonsense is going on in their life and put them up on Etsy and sell them. You couldn't do that. Most of the time you were making art and it had a purpose. It was going to go into a religious establishment, or maybe it was going to be used as signage, or it was more of a necessity rather than something that you did just for fun or just as a hobby. And really a lot of these artists were kind of considered magical in a sense, because they can take these ideas or these thoughts and they can turn them into something that you can see with your eyes. Anybody can see it. And so really I think your value as an artist, if you can make art, whether it's good or bad in whatever people's opinion, if you can make art and you're an artistic person, you have value. Now, you're never going to be any more valuable than that or any less valuable. And it's important to note that value does not equal success. Success is another subjective thing. Everybody has a different opinion of success. Some people think, well, if I can get a job for Pixar or something, that, that's the best possible job that I can get. I don't necessarily agree with that. That's not the kind of job that I would want. I wouldn't want everything that goes along with that. We all have different perceptions of success. But that success is something that you have to create for yourself. It's not going to be bestowed upon you by others. So is college necessary? In my case, I don't think it was. It might not have hurt. I might be a few steps ahead of where I'm at now. I might not. I really don't know. But it might have made my life harder. It might have made my life easier. Can't go back and find out, but I think at this point I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at, and I don't think that I would have really benefited from spending all that extra time going to school. I just, I went to school at home basically. I homeschooled myself. It's not that I just didn't learn any of the information and just went from A to Z. I spent the time to watch tutorials and to read books and to practice, and I did it every day. I did it as much as I would do it if I were going to a class every day. And on top of that, I had to work
a really, really, really crappy part-time job
doing furniture moving that was not fun at all. And I'd have to come home and do part-time design work for people, or just do art for the sake of doing art. I don't even know how I had the motivation to do it, but a lot of it was not wanting to do something other than make art. I've always just wanted to make art, and I figure, if I'm going to put effort into doing anything, I might as well put effort into doing what I want to do. So if you're trying to get a really, really technical job, like doing 3D design for games and stuff like that, where it's all computer-based, very, very modern stuff, then yeah, you're probably going to need to go to college. That's fine. That's what you're going to have to do. If you want to get a job rather than create your own work by starting your own business or being a freelance artist, then yes, you're probably better off going to college, because places that are going to hire you to come work for them, they're going to care about the degree. If you want to have to pay off your student loans for a few decades and be in debt and have to dig your way out of debt, then yes, college is the answer for you. Otherwise, if you just want to be a freelance artist, you don't want to work for somebody else, you just want to do your own thing, and it's, something that you're already pretty good at, then you don't need college. You do need to learn the information, and there's ways to get it. It's online, it's free, it's at the library. Go out there and study, figure out what you don't know, find tasks, say, I want to learn how to design a poster, watch some poster tutorials. Okay, now that you know how to create a poster, that's something that you can market, and you can say, hey, for X amount of dollars per hour, I'll design a poster for you. Get some work there. Somebody says, hey, I need a logo for my poster as well. Well, you kind of know a little something about design. So if you don't know how to design a logo, go on YouTube and watch a tutorial about how to design a logo. There you go. There's another thing that you can charge people for. And the most important thing about whether or not to go to college is to consider what's going to happen after college. Just because you have a degree isn't going to guarantee that you're going to get a job. You might not be able to get a job. People might just not even like you and not even want to hire you for whatever reason. They might think you have a stupid haircut or something, or they don't like the color of the t-shirt that you wear, and they're never gonna hire a guy like that. Well, you can get work for yourself. Then you can find people who do like you and who do like what you do and would rather pay you as a person to do it rather than a firm, a 1-800 number or a website that they have to call to not get any one-on-one customer service from someone who doesn't even care about their project and just makes some generic crap anyways. So it's really important to understand that there's no guarantees, but you're going to be a lot better off if you're being proactive and you're doing things for yourself and you're advocating for yourself. You're finding your own work. You're advertising for yourself. You're not relying on another company or someone else to bring in business for you. That's how you can be successful as an artist if your definition of success is similar to mine. That's pretty much just getting paid to do what you want to do anyways. So study, get experience, and just have the drive to want to do it and stick to it, and you'll be successful, and that's all you need. Thanks for watching this episode of my vlog. I'll catch you next time.